The first day of Kwanzaa, we call it Umoja, unity, unity. The second day of Kwanzaa, Kujichagulia, self-determination. The third day of Kwanzaa, we call it Ujima, collective work and responsibility. The fourth day of Kwanzaa, we call it Ujamaa, cooperative economics. The fifth day of Kwanzaa, we call it Nia, purpose, purpose. I have a purpose. The sixth day of Kwanzaa, we call it Kuumba, creativity, creativity. The last day of Kwanzaa, we say Imani, that's what we call faith. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, celebration. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, celebration. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, celebration. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, celebration.
Peace and power to everyone under the sound of my voice. Habari Gani, Kuumba. That's your response. Peace and love, family. Thank you for joining me on this 6th day of Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa, Harazi Kwanzaa to everyone. Like I said, and it's on under the sound of my voice. And those of you who are live with me right now, and those of you who will be watching this live in the archives. And so I want to take a moment out to shout out to my audience family who is in the building. We see KC is in the building. KC said this is catchy. Yeah, my E5 twin sent it to me. So let me post a link to this Kwanzaa song. This Kwanzaa song is catchy, and I like it. It's very catchy. Very catchy. And my E5 twins, that's what I call them because I always butcher their names. But my E5 twins sent this, sent the YouTube video to me. And so I just put the link to the YouTube video in the chat. I see Hotspot Casino is in the building. Hotspot Casino said, here we go. So Hotspot Casino actually told me that I need to take a break. And I told him, and he's right, I've been working overtime. And so I told him that I will take one right after Kwanzaa. So I'm going to go hard. And then at the Kwanzaa, I'm going to take a hiatus, maybe for a week or so. And I think I've put out enough content to keep people chewing on, something for folks to chew on. So peace and love to your Hotspot Casino. I see you in the building, beloved. I see the Queen Mother, Virgo Venom, is in the building. Peace and love to your Virgo Venom. She says, happy Kwanzaa again. Love to the family. And so share this discussion, family. Share this discussion. Today, I'm going to be talking about, share this celebration, right? Because we're here to celebrate Kwanzaa, to celebrate our history, our history, our culture, our families, our communities, our survival, our prosperity. And so it's really a celebration, not really a discussion. But share this discussion, share this celebration, family. Today, we're going to be talking about Kuumba creativity. And so you know that I take this information when I go through the Nguzo Saba. I take the information straight from the official Kwanzaa celebration .org website. And so I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Hold on. I then copied and paste the wrong thing. So hold on. Let me go here. Let me stop highlighting this. And I don't know what I did. So let me refresh. There we go. There we are, family. So I just dropped the link in the chat. Okay, so Kuumba Creativity says to do as much as we can in the way we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it. I think that's kind of simple, right? Like, I think that's kind of it's simple. It's straightforward, right? Like a straightforward concept. It says to do always as much as we can in the way that we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it, right? So our environment, so we should be focusing on, utilizing our creativity, right? Using our creativity to further develop our families, to further develop our communities, to further develop our culture, right? To further develop, okay, these things, right? More than what they were before we came here, right? Like more than what we were, right? When we got here, I'll say that. Um, and so if you look at this, he says purpose and creativity, and that's what I honestly thought about, like our purpose. Okay, I thought our purpose should be in alignment with our creativity, right? So you should be using your creativity to do what? To live out your purpose. And so he says right here the sixth principle of Kuumba, creativity, and logically follows from and is required by the principle of Nia. It is a commitment to being creative. It's a commitment to being creative. And when I clicked on the link, it says right here, it is a commitment to being creative within the context of national community vocation of restoring our people to their traditional greatness and thus leaving our community more beneficial and beautiful than we left it, i.e., each generation inherited it. So it says this principle has both social and spiritual dimension and is deeply rooted in the social and sacred teachings of African societies. Let me say this, family. Let me say this, using our creativity. He's saying that it should be, look at this. He says a commitment to being creative in the context of national community vocation of restoring our people to greatness. There are a lot of brothers and sisters when I think of hip hop music, right? And how hip hop music used to be used as a tool. Because when you're in hip hop, you're writing, you're making beats, you're recording, right? We had the culture that came along with it, the way we danced, right? The beatboxing, the clothing, all of that stuff, the lingo. It was a whole culture in and of itself. But that culture was centered around blackness, black empowerment. And I'm talking about Brand Nubian, Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul during those days. And so they were using hip hop as a message, as a tool to as a tool to advance black people, to empower black people, particularly black youth. So they were using their creativity to restore us to our traditional greatness. And see, and I'm thinking about hip hop music right now. Today, I would just classify it as rap. They're no longer using their creativity to restore us to our traditional greatness. They're using their creativity and they're in it promoting death and destruction, death culture, death and destruction. So I love what Dr. Karenga is doing here. He's saying, wait a minute, we should be using our creativity and our purpose should be aligned. Check. And it should be, right? It should be our creativity and our purpose should be a commitment to restoring our people to our traditional greatness. So whatever we're creating, it should be to make Black African people great. That's what it should be. Whatever our gifts are, whatever our talents are, whatever our skills are, it should be used It should be used to make our people great. So when you're creating a program, make sure that program is centered around restoring our greatness. Make sure that the purpose of creating that program is to restore our greatness, right? Whatever you're doing, whatever you create, whether you're creating instruments, whether your gift is being a chef, food, right? Whether it's being for myself an engineer, using if you're an educator, whatever your talents are, whatever your skills are, you should be using those talents, using those skills, using those abilities to restore us to our traditional greatness. Otherwise, it's a waste. Otherwise, it's a waste, family. Let's go back here. So it says creative restoration. It says nowhere is the principle more clearly expressed than in the literature and culture of ancient Egypt. Creativity here is both an original act of imitation of the creator and restorative act. Hold on. And a restorative act, also reflective of the creator, constantly pushing back the currents of chaos and decay and revitalizing and restoring the natural, spiritual, and cosmic energy of the world. In ancient Egypt, there was a spiritual and ethical commitment and obligation to constantly renew and restore the great works, the legacy of the ancestors, and the creative energy of the leader and nation. This was considered doing ma'at. Oh my goodness. Wasn't Baba Imhotep talking about this yesterday? Wasn't he talking about this yesterday into during yesterday's stream? He said this was considered doing ma'at. See, we had to think ma'at, speak ma'at, and live ma'at. So it says right here, this was considered doing ma'at, i.e., reaffirming and restoring truth, justice, propriety, harmony, balance, reciprocity, and order. It says each pharaoh saw his or her reign then as one of the restoration of ma'at, i.e., the reaffirmation and reestablishment and renewal of the good, the beautiful, and the right. This concept of restoring ma'at includes the concept of Siraj. I don't know if I pronounced that, Siraj Ta, restoring the world, used above in discussing the right relationships with the environment. Lastly, family, Kwanzaa as a creative restoration. Click on the link. It says right here, it is of value to note here that my creation of Kwanzaa falls within the restorative concept of creativity. For when I say I created Kwanzaa, the term created does not imply or mean made out of nothing, for it is clearly not the case as the above discussion on continental African roots of Kwanzaa shows. What one has then is rather a creative restoration of the African spirit of cultural restoration and renewal in both the ancient Egyptian and African American sense of the practice as used in the 1960s. Hold on, I didn't mean to click it off. It is, in fact, a restoring that which was in ruins or disuse in many parts of Africa, especially among Africans in America, and attempting to make it more beautiful and beneficial than it was before, as the principle of Kuumba, creativity, requires. This, as stated above, contains the interrelated principles of restoration and progressive perfection. To restore is what we called in the 60s to rescue and reconstruct. Oh my goodness, let me read that again, family. He said to restore is what we called in the 60s to rescue and to reconstruct. Progressive perfection is a kawaida concept that assumes an ability and obligation to strive always to leave what one inherits, your legacy and community, more beautiful and beneficial than it was before. It is again in this context and spirit of the cultural project of recovering and reconstructing African first fruit celebration that Kwanzaa was conceived and constructed. So miss me with the some of y'all on the internet talking about Dr. Maat, some you all on the internet, Kwanzaa was really created by it's a queen. They calling her the mother of Kwanzaa. It's a sister, and I don't know what the relationship may have may not been between her and Dr. Karanga, even if there was one. But you have people running around here spreading malinformation and misinformation that this woman created Kwanzaa. It was a black woman that did it and it was stolen. No, he created it, family. Give him his flowers. He created, he created. It is what it is. And so he says, finally, I'm sorry, the stress then is on leaving a legacy. There's that word legacy. And that's what I talk to my students about all the time. Legacy. What kind of legacy do you want to leave for your family, for your community, for the world? Think legacy. What do you want to leave? Huh. I told them that their goal should be to build something that outlives them. Ashe? So it says the stress then is on legacy, is on leaving a legacy, which builds on and enriches the legacy before you. All of us have inherited a legacy, good or bad. We've all, or both. We've all inherited legacies from our parents, legacies from our communities, legacy from this culture. All of us have. But our objective, family, should be to build on the legacies that we did inherit and to enrich the ones that we didn't inherit. It says again, it is again stress on generational responsibility. Kwanzaa reminds us of the ancient Egyptian teaching that if we wish to live for eternity, oh my goodness, we must build for eternity, i.e., do great works or serve the community in a real, sustained, and meaningful way. To serve, family. To serve. That's what it's about. Baba Amin was just talking about that on his live stream earlier today. Being a servant, of the community. He talked about it on his post last night that I read. And that's what a great leader is. A great leader is nothing but a servant of his or her people. So it says this reflects both a social and moral criteria for eternal life. And it is interesting to note that this discussion, I'm sorry, family, this discussion of great works and service surfaces in the discussion by Martin Luther King on service. He said that all of us cannot build great works, but we can all serve. And that in and of itself can lead to greatness. So we all may not be able to build great works. We all may not be able to do that, but we all can serve. He says, finally, okay, and I always butcher names, you know that. King Sesostris, okay, it says the first taught that to do that which is of value is forever. A people called forth by its works do not die, for their name is raised and remembered because of it. Regardless of whether you all care for Dr. Karinga or not, because I know it's always trolls. It's always some damn trolls in the building. His name is going to ring bells forever. Kwanzaa's not going anywhere. His Odu Ifa isn't going anywhere. His Ma'at is not going anywhere. None of his Hosea. Matter of fact, I'll be reading the Hosea, the Hosea tomorrow for my own personal edification. I said I'm going to start it on January the 1st. But his great works is not going to go anywhere. And his name is going to be remembered forever, whether you like it or not. So it says the lesson here is that creativity is central to the human spirit in human society. That is, it causes us to grow. It restores and revitalizes us in the community and ensures our life for eternity. And the book of Kedi teaches that we should not underestimate the positive or negative, the creative or destructive effects on our thoughts and actions. For it says every day is a donation to eternity, and even 1 hour is a contribution to the future. Oh my gosh, I got to read that line again, family. I got to read that line again. Oh my goodness. He said every day is a donation to eternity, and even 1 hour is a contribution to the future. Ashe. And thank you so much, Brother Marcus in Red Form. He said, ain't we are human? Damn it. Thank you. Right. I'm not a biblical person, but I do appreciate the literature. I do appreciate the literature. I read all literature and I appreciate literature. But in the Bible, there's a story about someone, I think it was a woman who was going to get stoned to death, or it may have been a man. Somebody was going to get stoned to death. And it was said, it could have been Jesus, could have been someone there. I'm not sure. I haven't read the Bible in years. But it said he who is without sin or wrongdoing, right? Cast the first stone. And everybody dropped their stones and they walked away. Some of you are throwing stones, living in, or rocks, living in glass houses. You know, we put your life under a microscope, what would we see? Hello? If we put your life under a microscope, what would we see, family? And I noticed that a lot of us, we will give our open enemy more grace than we give each other. We'll give the open enemy more grace than we give each other. That's a problem, family. That's a problem. And so anyway, family, let's talk about a little bit of creativity. I actually received an award. I want to show you all this. And a lot of you probably already saw it. I actually have received an award, a creativity award from Morgan State for using my creativity, family, to advance our youth. So a lot of you know that I worked. That's what I do. And I had to show you this. I actually received a few awards. This year. One from Morgan, one from Dr. Boyce Watkins at the All Black National Convention, and another one from Radio One in Baltimore for my commitment to education and using my creativity to advance our youth. Oh, thank you. So my mama said, women brought to Jesus. You know, she would know. So mommy's in the chat. She's like, let me give you that correction. Yeah, I forgot. Mama, I forgot the story, but I remember the concept of it, or the lesson from it. And that's, so I don't remember all of the details from the story, but I do remember the lesson. And the lesson was, you know, basically sweep around somebody else's doorstep before you speak around yours. Don't be throwing no rocks. Don't throw rocks living in a glass house. You know, we've all done something that we're not proud of. And so thank you for that, mama. But yeah, so using my creativity. So Dr. Maat, how does she use her creativity? And I'm going to drop the link in the chat, family. I'm dropping the link in the chat because I want you all to come in and talk to me about how you are using your creativity. So in 2014, my family founded a company called Ed Anime Productions. Ed Anime is short for educational animation. And we came together to create a hip hop animated series that taught children about the history, culture, and achievements of melanated people. That's what Meltrek stands for. So the name of the program is called Meltrek. That was our flagship project, Meltrek. Mel is short for melanin, Trek means journey. So we're taking you on a journey to learn about the history, culture, and achievements of melanated people. And so far, we've created 2 episodes, 2 films. Meltrek, exploring ancient Africa. Okay. And the objective of that particular film was to teach our children that our history does not begin with slavery, but with greatness. I want to say that again. The objective of Meltrek episode 1 is to teach our children that our history does not begin with slavery, but with greatness. In Meltrek episode 1, our babies learn that African people are the mothers and fathers of humanity, and that we build great civilizations throughout the continent of Africa, or in the East, the West, the Central, and the South. They learned the names of great kings and queens. We discussed the culture. We discussed the great structures. They learned that African people gave religion to the world, gave science to the world. That's what they learned in Meltrek episode 1. And when I say that the response has been enormous, Meltrek has been sold in 30 states and 10 countries. Ashe, I even have pictures of us in Ghana presenting Meltrek, pictures of us in Cameroon presenting Meltrek. And everywhere we go, and when we present Meltrek, the children love it. They love to hear about the greatness of our people. And so Meltrek episode 2 is this right here. So Meltrek episode 1 is to the left. Meltrek episode 2 is here. In Meltrek episode 2, it teaches our children what I call true or real, authentic U.S. history, authentic U.S. history in Meltrek episode 2. So it's called Meltrek episode 2, Exploring the Pre-Columbian Americas, where we take the children back in time to learn about the Hopewell, the Adena, and Mississippian cultures, which dwelled in North America. Then we take them down into Mesoamerica, where they're exposed to the culture and achievements in the history of the Olmecs, Mayans, and Aztecs. Then we take them into South America, where they learn about the history, culture, and achievements of the Incas. And so our children learn that there were black and brown people over here before the arrival of Christopher Columbus, and that these people established thriving civilizations before those civilizations were disrupted by the Spanish. And so we talk about that in Meltrek episode 2. Okay. And so when we dropped these episodes, people reached out. They said, Dr. Maat, I love the films, but what else do you have? I mean, these parents were hungry for the information, and their children were hungry for the information. And the parents appreciated that we created, that we were able to put this information in a package that was digestible to children. It was digestible for children, because a lot of times we get on these broadcasts and we exchange information and we build, right? But what about our children? We should be teaching our children. And some parents, they don't even know the information to be able to teach it. And even if they know the information, they're like, how can I teach this to my children? So shout out to my conscious parents, my African-centered parents, my Black power, my pro-Black parents who said, I'm going to invest in Meltrek, and I'm going to make sure that this is in all of the households in my family. And so once they reached out, they said, what else do you have? So then we began to create an activity book for Meltrek episode 1, and also a story book, because parents wanted to do 3 things. This is what the parents told me. Hey, we want to do 3 things, Dr. Maat. We want to, 1, make sure that the children retain the information that you all are disseminating in the film. 2, we want to, there go that Baltimore accent. 2, the parents wanted to ensure that they comprehended the information, right? So that they retained it and that they comprehended the information. So it's 2 things. I'm sorry, I said 3, but 2 things: to retain it and to be able to comprehend it. And that's what these books do. So we have a story book to go along with Meltrek episode 1. We also have an activity book to go along with Meltrek episode 1. For Meltrek episode 2, we currently have an activity book, and we're working on a story book, which should be out by the spring. And then also, family, I want to share this with you. We're in the process of uploading a Meltrek curriculum. So we already have completed a curriculum for Meltrek episode 1. We're in the process of creating the curriculum for Meltrek episode 2. And both of these curriculums will be available for your children. So that means, as a parent, you can give them a pre and post assessment, figuring out what they know and what they don't know. You'll have about 20 or 30 days worth of lessons, where you have the lesson plans, which comes with instructions, a student learning packet for your child. And then they would take the post assessment after that. Family, we're not messing around. So you'll have a curriculum probably by the summertime for your children that'll be centered around the information that they learn in the Meltrek episode. So there'll be a curriculum for each episode: a curriculum for Meltrek episode 1 and a curriculum for Meltrek episode 2. And currently we are working on Meltrek episode 3. We're actually almost finished recording the voiceover for Meltrek episode 3. We're actually in the process, and I'm going to talk while the trailer for Meltrek episode 3 is playing. We're in the process of creating the film for Meltrek episode 3. It's called Meltrek Exploring the Maafa. The Maafa is a Swahili word which means the great disaster, and it was coined by Nana Maremba Ani. And so to describe the era of enslavement and colonization. And so we're going to dedicate 3 parts, 3 episodes, to teaching our children about the Maafa. And so they're going to learn about the Maafa through our African lenses. Okay. When did it start? How did it start? Who were the major players, right? Then we're going to talk about the fact that our ancestors, right? The labor that was extracted from Africa, the cash crops that were cultivated by our African ancestors, enriched European nations, okay, and created wealth that they still enjoy today. They're going to learn that it was a system of wealth that the Europeans created off of the backs of African people. Okay, that's what they're going to learn. They're also going to learn about the rebellions, the resistance that took place. Because a lot of times when our children learn about slavery, we don't focus on the resistance. We don't tell it from a position of power. That everywhere there was slavery, there were people marooning, there were people fleeing, there were people establishing free towns. Come on, there were people establishing free towns everywhere that there was slavery, free communities. Thousands of people living in these communities. Ashe, everywhere there was slavery, there was resistance. Everywhere. And so they're going to learn about the rebellions that took place on land and at sea. Because during sea, some of us took over the ships. We took over the slave ships and threw them over. So, family, I'm telling you, if you don't have the Meltrek program, I'm going to drop the link in the chat, okay, so that you can get the Meltrek program in your household. Get the Meltrek program in your household. One thing that's disheartening is that I've had celebrities reach out to me, and I'm going to call their names. Jesse Williams from Grey's Anatomy. I forgot the name of the other brother. He's a retired football player from the North Carolina Panthers. Different celebrities have reached out about the Meltrek program and have purchased the Meltrek program for their children. But have you noticed, family, you don't see celebrities pushing it? So it's like maybe 3 or 4 celebrities have reached out, literally reached out, sent me emails. I have receipts. But you don't see them online pushing Meltrek. And I said, I guess Meltrek is just too black. I guess Meltrek is just too black for some of these celebrities. And so some of you may say, well, Dr. Maat, when I went to your website, I saw you were still selling the DVD. And we were. I'm still selling the DVD because these children have PlayStations and the PlayStations take CDs. And some parents asked me to continue selling the DVD so that their children can play it on their little devices. And so I did. But if you want a digital copy of the film, family, you can go right here to Amazon. Go to Amazon Prime, type in Meltrek, and you get the video instantly. You can add it to your child's digital library and put it on your child's. Absolutely Hot Spot Casino. He said, you know why? He said it's a political thing. Absolutely. Yeah, Black Ace said, too black and too strong. Exactly. Exactly. And so, family, if you want the digital copy, just put it in your library. Go to Amazon Prime, click the link, purchase it, put it in your library. This Meltrek should be in every black home. Every conscious home should have the Meltrek program. Let me move forward to another program that I had recently created. Conscious ingenuity. Conscious ingenuity. Hold on. Conscious ingenuity, a program that utilizes STEAM to build character, confidence, and capabilities. And I have to update this statement right here, this mission. It says it's a K through 12, a K through 8 program. It's not a K through 8 program anymore. It's a K through 12 program, okay, that teaches STEAM from an African centered perspective. So this website needs some work. It was kind of something we pushed together because people wanted something fast. And how can we get our children enrolled? And so we had to come up with a website pretty quickly, and had a sign up form and all of that. And so this definitely needs some work. But anyway, look at what the children are exposed to: coding, circuits, robotics, cybersecurity, songwriting, storyboarding, animation, and history. It says right here, character development is also a major component of the program. Okay. The program incorporates activities that actively address self-image, self-esteem, and self-confidence. Family. Get your children in conscious ingenuity. Conscious ingenuity is currently being deployed in several schools in Baltimore City, and the Uhuru Academy, and the Kamoyo Shule Academy. Family, get your children enrolled in conscious ingenuity. I'm going to drop this link in the chat as well. All right, we have virtual boot camp sessions that you can sign your children up for, where we send them out a STEM packet and I bring on instructors. And by the way, our instructors are students, electrical engineering students from Morgan State University. Okay. So come on now. You talk about intergenerational teaching and learning. These are students who are serving as the instructors. So, family, get your children involved in, get your children enrolled in conscious ingenuity. And last but not least, the ASAFO training camp. That's another way that I've been using my creativity. Huh, hold on. And I want you to come on in and tell me how you use your creativity. The ASAFO training camp for young boys. It was co-founded with Baba Emotep and myself. We co-founded this camp this past summer, the ASAFO training camp in Baltimore. And the purpose of this camp is to develop, it focuses on manhood development in young boys between the ages of 12 and 14. Oh, let me go. I didn't know a video was playing. Hold on. Let me pause this video. And we're also going to update this website as well because we have more footage. It was our first year. And so to create a website, we kind of took some photographs and videos from previous programs that Bobby Emotep has created and implemented in Baltimore. But look at this, family. The ASAFO training camp for African American boys 12 to 14 is a collaboration between Ed Anime Productions and the Urban Youth Initiative Project. It is a week-long cultural enrichment, character refinement, and manhood development and experience based on cultivating warriorhood. Warriorhood is not indicative. I'm sorry, it is not indicative of crudeness, ruggedness, or recklessness. Warriorhood signifies disciplined, focused, purposeful, and centered men. In this context, young boys. We will cultivate discipline within, teach structure, in order to our ASAFOs in training. African history and culture will be the foundation and at the center of the ASAFO training camp. Look at the core areas, family. Good character, Iwa Riri. The principles of Ma'at, the Nguza Saba. Physical fitness, self-defense. They had a study book, Manhood in the 21st, African Manhood in the 21st Century. Strategic thinking that they learned through chess. Martial arts. All of this stuff. Urban safety. Family. If you have a son between the ages of 12 and 14, get him to Baltimore this summer. We'll put out a flyer and let you know. We'll put out a flyer and let you know. Send us your son. You can come up here, grab an Airbnb for a week and come kick it in Baltimore while your son goes through the ASAFO training camp. I'm going to drop this link in the chat. Family. So you talk about Dr. Maat being busy. And so the Azinga camp is coming soon too. The Azinga training camp, I might call it the Nzinga training camp. I may call it the Aset. I don't know what I'm going to call it. But another training camp will be available. We're going to run 2 of them this summer. Bobby Emotep probably is looking like, oh, goodness, here she go. Here go Dr. Maat again. We need one for our young women. We need one young for our young girls. So we need a training camp that will develop manhood in young boys. And we also need a training camp that will develop womanhood in young girls. We need it, family, for our babies. We need it. And so I'm one of those type of people. Not saying that it doesn't exist. I know they have rites of passage programs all over the place and different training camps. But, where we are in my community, I'm the type of person, if it doesn't exist here, I'm going to create it. I'm going to create it for our people, for our families, for our communities. Ashe. And so that is what this whole thing is about today. We're talking about Kuumba, family. We're talking about creativity, using our creativity to do what? To leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it. And so the way I use my creativity is through creating programs for our babies. But let me tell you something, for the people who are watching and who will be watching in the archives, I'm in the process of securing some properties here in Baltimore to open up an actual brick and mortar. So it'll be beyond programs being implemented. This will be an actual brick and mortar here in Baltimore. Ashe. Ashe. All right, family. So I'm going to drop the link in the chat. I want you to come on in and talk to me about your creativity. Talk to me about your Kuumba. How are you using your Kuumba to push your family forward, to push your community forward? Tell me some of the things that you have going on, some of the programs that you've created, some of the projects that you may have created, some programs, projects, schools. It could be products that you create to push us forward. Come on in, family, and let's talk. Let's talk about your Kuumba. Let's talk about your creativity. The link is in the chat. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you now. I didn't spilt my guts. I spilt my guts for the past 40 minutes. I want to hear from you. I want you to tell me, how are you using your creativity to push us forward, to restore our people to our traditional greatness? Ashe, what are you doing? Even if it's your music, if you want to come on, some people use music to push us forward. Some people use cooking to push us forward. Some people use their knowledge of herbs to heal. That's a way of pushing us forward. So come on in, family, and tell me, how are you pushing the culture forward? How are you pushing our people forward with your creativity? So I spilled my guts. You know all you know all of my stuff. You know where I teach. You know about the Conscious Ingenuity Program. You know about Meltrek. You know about the Asafo training camp. You know about either the Aset or the Nzinga training camp that's coming. So you know how I'm using my gifts, how I'm using my creativity. How are you using yours? I want to hear from the people. If not, I'm going to close out. I don't hear from you, I'm going to close out. The link is in the chat, family. The link is in the chat. Come on in and tell me how you're using your creativity. Sister Talina Holton, she said, I published 2 children's books. I'm pushing Kuumba in my family by encouraging them to also be creative through creating their art, through crocheting, drawing, and doll making. Ashe. Queen, drop the name to your books in the chat so I can put them on the screen. She said she published 2 children's books. Oh, I love it. And she said she's pushing the family by encouraging them to be creative and using their art. Ashe. Ashe. Tiffany Stew says Art and Bodywork LLC to help anyone for better health and relaxation through massage therapy, or what I call traditional therapy. Sister Tiffany, drop your website. Drop your website in the chat and tell us, are you in Baltimore? Because I need a massage. Where's hot? Where's my moderator at? Hotspot Casino. I think that's his title up here. Where is it? Because he was just telling me you need a massage, Doc. Yep, Hotspot Casino. You need a massage, Doc. That's what he told me. Where are you based at, sister? Let me see. So, Sister Talina Halton, she said, "Here's the link, y'all. It's on Amazon. What's the name of your the title of the book, Queen? Because I see the link, and I'm glad you dropped the link. What's also the title? If you could drop that in the title, your title in the chat, that would be great." Sister Midori, peace and love to you. She said the other day on Instagram, I, I'm telling you all, people think they say Dr. Maat, they think I'm just so hard. I'm telling you, I'm a big marshmallow. I promise you. I cry when I watch certain movies. Um, I'm in there. I cry when I watch certain movies. Like I'm a big like softy, and I don't know, but people think I'm just so, especially my students. And then when they get to know me, they're like, "Yeah, she's a softy." You know, I'm just as my friend Mookie would say, egg. You know how you have this hard exterior, but then when you crack an egg, when you crack the egg, it's yolk that comes out. I'm one of those folks. I have a very hard exterior, but very soft, very soft. And so she put up a video, and she said it was a video, and she tagged me in it on IG, and she's like, Dr. Maat, she's a queen after my own heart. And she was like, and just kind of just giving me flowers and encouraging people to support my platform. And then I had to just like, I was sitting in bed and I was reading it, and then I had to repost it and let her know that I feel the same way about her. And so anyway, family, she just commented and she said she's using her skills to create an enlightened entertainment platform. She said, we're going social media free in 2023. Oh man, Queen. I love it. And she talked about it, family. Go back to some of the other Kwanzaa videos because she's been on, family, and she talked about her platform. Okay. She talked about her platform, family. So she said she is using her skills to create, I love what she said, an enlightening entertainment platform. She said, we're going social media free in 2023. Ashe. Ashe. And Sister Holton, she put the link, family, in the chat. Check out these links. And I know some people will be watching in the archives. Make sure that you click on these links and that you support. Sister Tiffany Stew says she's in Jersey, East Orange. Oh man, they talked about Jersey. I think East Orange in my book, The Color of Law. I believe that's where I believe that they talked about Jersey in The Color of Law in East Orange. But peace to you, sister. When I get up north, I got to come up to Philly in Jersey and show my people some love up there. A lot of people from Jersey and in New York, and even Philly support the platform and support me. So I got to come up there one day. Oh, thank you, brother Ace, Black Ace. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate your words. Hope that was for me. Look. I hope that was for me. He's a beautiful. I'm talking about thank you. Then he'd be like, no, I was looking at this profile picture of the sister. But if you're talking to me, I would say a dupe. A dupe. Oh man, Midori said, I'm out here, Tiffany. Let's connect. She in Jersey. So y'all connect, Tiffany. There's a connection right there. See how it happens, family? Peace to CJ Young Jr. Peace and love to you. Our Sister Holton said, Grand Feet. That's the name of it. Grand Feet, family, is the name of her book. Let me go on Amazon and see if I could bring this up. Grand Feet. I love when people share with I love our people, man. Our people are we're just beautiful people, very creative people. And what I hate is what I hate, family, is when the others, um, capitalize. And we live in a capitalistic society. So they're doing what they're doing what they do, right? And it's a society we live in. But I hate when they capitalize off our creativity. When I look at all of those young brothers and young sisters in the music industry and how how those capitalists just take their creativity and use it, and abuse it, family. And so anyway, we have to we have to own and control our creativity, Ashe. And so anyway, it says Grand Feet paperback. All right. She tells us that, and this is the cover of the book. She said it is a message for children to trust their feet, to carry them along the path to their destiny in life. It is also it also has an accompanying self-love coloring book. I love it. I love it. I love it, family. Make sure you get it. The sister put it in the book. Hold on, I'm gonna have to get this. Let me see. I love it. I love children's books. Let me go like this. Let me stop sharing and then let me grab it. Let me do a buy now. It said I'll get it Tuesday on the 3rd. And let me place. Oh no, I don't want to use my gift card. Hold on. Yeah, people been sending me gift cards, family. See, I just want to use my regular card to purchase this. Okay, use this payment method. All right, done, Queen. Done. Family, get the book. And let me tell you why I do things like that. Why I just go ahead and do things like that. Because I don't want to ask people to do something that I'm not willing to do. Ashe? So you always got to lead by example. So if I tell you to do something, it's not I'm just telling you to do it. I'm doing it and I'm asking you to do it as well. Encouraging you to do it, not telling you because I can't tell you nothing. All I can do is ask and encourage you to do it. All right. So thank you so much, Queen, for coming through. Race first to Brother Davon in the building. I see you, Baba Meeks. I'm getting ready to bring you in. All right, family. And Sister Hutton, she also has she said, I'm in Sacramento. Man, my uncle and aunt used to live in Sacramento. Got cousins in the Bay Area now. My uncle left Baltimore like in the 80s. And my mom's in the chat, so she can tell me if it's the 80s. I want to say it was the 80s. He left Baltimore and went to California. You know how it is, Talina. our men, they start traveling, they go make families. And so he went out to California, met a woman, and, created a family. And he's been out there ever since. So that's why I have family in Cali. And at one point, they lived in, I had one uncle in Sacramento. Um, and then I had another uncle. Oh, Uncle Joe, where was he at? I forgot the name of these spots. But I know I have a cousin in Hayward right now. She's in Hayward. She's in Hayward. She's in Hayward. All right, so I'm trying to see. Oh, Black A said yes, it was. No problem, Sister Hutton. No problem. No problem. Oh, you got cousins in the DMV. Also, she said I got cousins in the DMV. Peace and love, Baba. How are you?
Oh, just fine. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, Baba. Just, getting it in on Kwanzaa. I decided to go live every day. And I don't know why the spirit moved me to do it. I usually go live on the first day and that's it, first day of Kwanzaa. But there are people that are literally hospitalized, and there are people who celebrate Kwanzaa, but they don't live in a community or family who celebrates it. And then it said, so it's all sorts of reasons, Baba. So I just, I'm happy that just to do this, Baba. You know what I mean? Just to come on
Yeah.
and celebrate Kwanzaa and to build with our virtual community. But peace and love to you, Baba. What's on your mind?
Oh well, I'm in a community where this we never really, well, we didn't know anything about Kwanzaa in this city, but I'm learning a lot about it, and next year I want to get off into it because I never was no big Christmas person. But I want to say that what I'm doing, trying to do something a little different, is like I teach my son and my daughter to teach their children who they are, and I give my granddaughter a book on the real truth about Christopher Columbus because I know they're not going to teach it in school, and I had her read it. And this is my main goal: is to teach my grandchildren, who they are, and my grandson, he wants to play basketball, and I know that he's kind of that's his goal. But I tell him, I said, you tell your children, your grandchildren, they're smart. Don't call them stupid. Don't call them dumb. Tell them they're smart. Tell them they are somebody. Because we had enough of it growing up, telling that you're not nothing. But to be creative is like what I do. Is like take time, to talk to my grandchildren
Mm-hmm.
and to let them know who you are. Cause I said, Papa ain't gonna be here always, and I said, but you carry my name on, and I want you to be great in this world. And like my son, he's an electrician. I told him, I said, you can be the best electrician in the world. I said, forget about the union. I said, put your own logos on your own car.
Come
I
on.
said, advertise yourself. He's a musician. He sings and he know how to detail cars. I said, son, you got a gold mine right there in your own house. And sometimes we don't understand our wealth is in our gift.
Come on.
And we need and the parents need to, when they see something in the child, bring it out in them.
That's right.
Because you see them, like when I was growing up, I used to take these little insects and grasshoppers and cut them open. I just want to see how they work.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother had bought me a chemistry set, and I was always interested in that. And then I used to take my toys and take them all apart, and used to get my butt tore up from doing that. But I put them all back because I want to know how this thing work. And
Right.
so we have a great mind. We as black people have a great mind, and that needs to be cultivated. Tell them this is who you are. Be creative. We always have been creative people. We can take something and nothing and make something out of it. And that's why I try to tell my son. I said, you got to be a survivor. You got to let people know that you know just as much or more than they do. I said, but don't tell everything you know, because
Right.
you may be talking to the enemy. I said, but if you got an idea, I said, keep it in your head. I said, and write it down, because if we in an age now where we are being stereotyped as killing one another, doing this and doing that. But look, they're folk killing people all over the world.
That's right.
Folk been killing people since the been a world. So I'm tired of them looking at us like that. we're nothing, and we ain't gonna be nothing. No, we are somebody. And I said to do what you got to do, and do the best of what you got to do. And we as our own people, just come together and work together. That's what we need to do, and support each other. Now that's the main thing, is to support one another, and stop all this other stuff that people tell you that, well, that one ain't no good. I don't care if they got tubes hanging out their nose. If you can help them, help them.
That's right.
You
That's
know,
right.
uh, there a lot of the young black girls are suffering, and they need help. And if you can help them, help them. You know, I'm not, I'm too old to start another family. And I'm 71 years old. I mean, if I could start another one, I would, but it's too late for that.
Baba, I don't know now.
Huh?
Baba. Let me tell you, I got it. One of my good friends. Shout out to brother Rakim. He's in his 60s. He just got married, Baba, to a beautiful sister in oh my goodness, Sierra Leone. I want to say he's in Sierra Leone. That's where the sister's from. And he's in seven heaven right now, Baba. There was also another Baba I went to. I traveled to Ghana with him in 2019, and that he actually moved to Ghana, found himself a woman, Baba, and he moved to Ghana. So Baba, it ain't never too late.
Ain't
You
never
know,
too late, but let
ain't
me.
never. I mean, if you're not feeling it, I don't want to pressure you, Baba. But I want to just say to you, it ain't never too late. And I'm talking about the Baba. So Raken is in his 60s, and then the other Baba that I'm talking about, he was in his 70s in 2019, and I'm talking about like middle 70s. And he went over there and found himself a woman, and he's doing this thing, Baba. So I'm just saying, it ain't never too late.
But give me his phone number so I can see what's going on.
I got you, Baba. I got you, Baba. That's what I say, Baba. That's what I say, Baba. It ain't never too late, Baba.
I
Trust
like to
me.
meet that fella. Give me his phone number. See if he
Hey,
got any
Baba.
heart troubles. I got a defibrillator, so I just, you know, I got to think about that.
Baba said, hold up. Oh man. No, we gonna get you right, Baba. We gonna get you right and we gonna get you out there, Baba. But hey Baba, you have my email address, don't you? I
Yeah.
want okay, he sent me an email so that I can respond to you with my telephone number so I can call, so I can connect the two of you.
Okay, cause I was I had contact you on Twitter.
I didn't see it, Baba.
Yeah, I had contact you on Twitter. Let's see. Wait a minute. Let me write your email down. I thought I had it. Let me put it down here. Cause is it in the chat?
Okay, hold on. I will put it in the chat and then I'm gonna put it on the screen.
Okay.
Hold on, let me do it right now, Baba. Hey, brother Black A said Dr. Sebi had a kid in his 80s.
Well, Abraham had one. He was 100. That's what they said.
I'm trying to tell you, Baba. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the wrong email address. Let me rewrite this. Hold on. But yeah, Baba, y'all can roll forever. We on a time limit.
My daughter told me, said, Daddy said, I wish you had got married again. Uh,
Oh,
I didn't see your email. You put it up there, but it's gone.
it's there now.
Uh, I'm looking toward. It was up on the screen there.
It's on the
And,
screen now,
oh,
Baba.
okay, yeah. Let me get that. Yeah, my aunt, and I told her. I said, well, it was a young lady from Ghana. She's the same age as my daughter, and she said she wanted to be married and she wanted 4 kids. And I said, oh, hold on, wait a minute now. Hey. I said, that look.
Baba said, hold
Let's
Baba said,
look now.
hold.
I said, now I don't want the kids to go to school. And they said, well, here come your daddy. They say, not her dad. They not his dad. That's Moses.
No, Baba, no. Baba, I'm telling you, people are having children. I remember when I was younger, I used to hear a lot of women say, "You better have children before you're 30. You better have children before you're 30. Before you're 30, it was before you're 30. Before you're 30." I know some sisters who are having babies in their middle 30s, their late 30s, their 40s. Like people. One thing about technology, and I think technology has its pros and its cons. But one thing about technology, especially medical technology, it has enabled us women to carry beyond, those prime ages. So they would say, I think when you get past 35 or 40, Baba, they say you got a geriatric womb. They say you got a geriatric womb, Baba. When you in your 30, when you're a woman and you're 35 or 40, they say you got a geriatric womb now. And I said, cool, my goodness, I got a geriatric womb. It sounds so old, a geriatric womb. But nonetheless, technology has afforded women who are in our late 30s and 40s to carry, and to carry safely, and to monitor, us while we carry. I can say that. And so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Baba. But with men, you all are good forever, so all you gotta do is make sure you fast, Baba, and clean yourself out, take some herbs and fast a little bit and cleanse yourself, and you'll be okay. You'll
Well,
be
I
good
gotta
to
get
go.
off some of this medicine first.
All right. And
You
don't let
know.
her and don't let her take you out of here, Baba. She talking about four of them from you. So
Yeah,
don't
she said
don't let
she wanted four. I said, woman. I said my daughter's same age as you. So. I said, well, I have to think about it.
she trying to get you, Baba. She trying to get you, Baba.
Yeah, I told her. I said, I mean, she's a good looking young lady, and then she's from Ghana, and I converse with her every now and then. But I said, nah, that sounds good. But she said, you can come over here and I'll bring them over. We can have 4 kids. And I said, oh my
Woo!
Lord. I said, 4.
Baba
I
said,
already got 7 grandchildren. I said,
I don't know about all that.
no, 5 granddaughters and 2 grandsons. I said, but well, you always say this one thing. Like I told you before, I ain't old. I'm just a recycled teenager.
Come on, Baba. That's
You
right.
know, they
That's
said
the spirit.
my sister used to say all the time, said nothing old but money,
Come on, Baba.
and you
No,
only old as you think. Now you looking at that picture of me up there. I done got older now. That's when I was handsome then.
Baba, I bet you're still handsome. Don't do that. Don't do that, Baba. Don't
Yeah,
do that, Baba.
I tell my grandkids, I said, Papa will be 17 this year, and they said, yeah, right, Papa. I said, but
Absolutely.
but you know what? I'm just glad to be alive. I'm glad I'm alive to. I still can be creative. I still can teach my children, and all the knowledge I've learned about Kemet and who we were. I'm so excited over this knowledge, Kwanzaa, all this stuff. All I'm hearing is new to me now, but I'm not giving up on it because it's something new, and I want to stick with it, and I want to learn. Some of the debates I hear, I'm tired of all that arguing and hollering and cussing one another. I said, I can't learn nothing like that.
Exactly. Nobody
Teach
got to.
me.
Right.
You
That's
know,
right, Baba.
I didn't tune in for nobody, hear nobody cussing somebody out because now they talk about Kemet, they talk about all the different things about the Jesus in the Bible, but until somebody from Kemet, one of the mummies stand up and tell us, everything we saying is true. All we doing is going by what history tells us, and that's all we can do. And we can learn from our own ancestors, from our history. We know it's true because they left the evidence. So, like I say, people believe what they want, but I'm into this because I want to know. I want to know where I come from, who I am, who's my ancestors. Because Meeks is not my real name. That was that name they gave our ancestors. But my cousin was trying to find out who we really were, and I want to know.
That's
Even
right.
from a child, I used to say, I want who is my kinfolk? Who am I?
That's right, Baba.
But nobody never discussed it with me. But I'm not making no excuses. I tell you what I'm doing. I'm moving forward. I don't have no excuses. I'm not making none. I'm not sitting up crying, woe is me. I'm just saying, hey, I'm glad to be me. I'm glad to be who I am. I don't have to be nobody else but me.
That's
Learn to
right.
be yourself. And that's what I want to do. I want to be myself. And if I do decide to get married again, I don't see nothing wrong with somebody if I want to be married again. I just want to make sure she don't run off with somebody younger.
That's no. I know the concern, Baba.
I don't want to be sitting up there and then wake up and look around, everything gone, she gone, all the money gone.
Baba said, I ain't playing them games.
No, I'm
You
too.
gotta be careful.
I tell you, like an old man told me, I'm too old for the cat be fooled by a kitten.
Come on, Baba. Come
I
on.
don't. I ain't. I'm to the age now. I ain't playing. I can't be playing no games. you are you in it for the long haul or the short haul?
Come on, that's where I'm at, Baba. I don't have time for the
No,
foolishness.
nobody got time for
Time
that
for the
junk. You
Yeah.
know,
Mm-mm.
I'm too serious about life. You know, and come close to death 2 or 3 times. Died
Absolutely.
last year. In the hospital, hit
Mm.
at my apartment, died in the hospital, and I come out of it, and I'm just thankful to be here. I'm here for a
That's right.
purpose,
That's
and
right.
I ain't got time for no foolishness, because I don't care what they say. They did the diagnosis. I'm living, and I'm moving on.
Come on, Baba.
I'm moving
That's
on.
right.
I said I told my doctor. I said I'm gonna live. He said, "Nah, I like to hear that." He said, "I
Come
like that."
on.
You have what you say, and you can't just be surrounded. Oh, well, no, no, I'm gonna live.
That's right, Baba.
Now that's my motto. I'm gonna live.
I'm going to live.
I'm
I
gonna live,
say. I
and
say.
so that's all I had to say, Doctor Bud. I don't want to worry, but
No, no, no. But Baba, it's always a pleasure hearing your voice and always a pleasure, you dropping in, and it was hilarious. People in the chat room started laughing at our conversation, but always a pleasure, Baba. Appreciate you.
yeah, but
So I'll see you next time, Baba. I'll be on
okay then.
tomorrow. I'll be on tomorrow around noonish.
Okay, peace to you.
Peace and love, Baba. I love that Baba, man. I always look forward to him clicking the link and coming on and kicking it with me. Before I head out, before I cut out, family, we got to acknowledge today is Dr. Ben's birthday. So I just want to say, may the ancestors be pleased with his work. May he continue to rest in paradise, rest in power. Ashe. We give thanks for his work. We give thanks for his life. We give thanks for his sacrifices to liberate the minds, thus the bodies of African people. May the ancestors be pleased with Dr. Ben. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Oh. So I had to acknowledge Dr. Ben. So let me go ahead and hit my little outro. I want to share the audio because you all will be telling me in the chat. The audio's not playing. The audio's not playing, and I'll be all embarrassed. All right, here we go. Here's the outro. It's Kwanzaa. I hope today that you have a happy Kwanzaa. I hope that you will use your creativity to advance your family, to advance your community, to advance our people, to push us in the direction of liberation and sovereignty. So I pray that you have a blessed day, family. I want to say peace and power, or I will say Amani Na, right? Peace and in Swahili and Amandala in Zulu. Amani Na, Amandala. Peace and power.
Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, celebration. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa,
Thank you, Shakara. He said it's also
celebration.
Amy Jacquez Garvey's birthday.
The
Ashe.
first day of Kwanzaa, we call it Umoja, unity, unity. The second day of Kwanzaa, Kujichagulia, self-determination. The third day of Kwanzaa, we call it Ujima, collective work and responsibility. The fourth day of Kwanzaa, we call it Ujamaa, cooperative economics. The fifth day of Kwanzaa, we call it Nia, purpose, purpose. I have a purpose.
Yes. Y'all have a purpose, family.
The sixth day of Kwanzaa, we call it Kuumba, creativity, creativity. The last day of Kwanzaa, we say Imani, that's what we call faith. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, celebration. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa.
I love the animation, family. The culture, the colors, the beats. They did a phenomenal job.
Celebration.
And family, join me over here at the Uhuru Academy. I'm getting ready to jump on. Let me see if they're still going, family. Hold on. Uhuru Academy. Let me see if they're still live. They're doing a Kwanzaa marathon. Oh, I just saw it. Let me go to my history. You know, I don't have nothing to hide. I show y'all. I'm an open book to y'all. I just show y'all everything. Y'all be seeing all my stuff. Go to history. Yep, they're still live, family. They're still live. So I'm going to drop the link. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. All right, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Join me over there, family. Join me over there. The link is in the chat. I'm going to go here and holler at Baba Amin and Mama and Koyo. The link is in the chat, family. Let's go over there and let's show them some love. Peace and Black power.